Alright, um, good day to everyone. Happy the first day of December, everyone. We are gonna be in this, well, basically we have lots of days until Christmas and everything else. But there's a time that there was, that I'm just saying this now, that I forgot to do every Sunday I do a Christianity, well, I usually do church um, lessons. Basically, just reading the Bible and just do what Jesus is telling us to do. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that there's something that was happening in December, the first day of December of 2020, and basically I'm doing a church thing for what's happening, um, and there was conflict, and there was lots of stuff that was coming through, and basically that's why I'm doing this in the afternoon, so you can see my face and everything else. Okay, but anyway, the point is like I have the instructions that are down in the paper, and then I'll show you what the cards reveal. I'm doing a few cards to show you what's happening through this cycle of what's happening. If there could be a relationship, if there could be, uh, so basically what I mean is like we are trying to identify what's happening. You know, um, the pandemic can get a lot got a lot of people going, if they're in um, a happy state, or if they're in a negative state and they can't get out of that negative, and they have to think about the positive. But the negative can get to a lot of people in a way. You know, sometimes there is actually tragedy between where people are, um, when people are try to motivate, try to figure out the positive, not the negative. But people have different stories. People have different results. You know, um, you have to balance it between life. You know, and you have to identify of the positive, right? If there's conflict around you, then what's the point, right? What's the point? But you have to understand what's happening around the world. You know, you have to understand what's happening between the positive side and the negative side. You know, if you were thinking about the negative and you can't think about the positive, you're going to a negative state. You're going to a negative direction, right? But you know what? It's like when we understand what's happening, and when people are Christian, in Christianity, they believe in God. They believe in God, but everything around the world is basically messed up, which means that, like for the pandemic, right? If you look at this last year, we didn't have the pandemic. We didn't have, wearing a mask and social distancing, and, doing the 2 meters away, you know, or 6 meters away, right? But the point being is that when we have this in this year, it's like we are still waiting until that vaccine comes, you know. And that's why some people like to watch the news. Some people like to watch, the good news is just the weather. That's the good news. The bad news is just the bad news. You know, it's that, right? But you know, it's actually confidential, where you have to understand that everything seems to be all fine and dandy, but everything is not, right? And if you look at this in a negative way, it's like you're playing a game that is involved the devil, right? I'm not going to say it to all my fans about a devil or anything like that. No, you're totally not. But I'm just saying that there's actually bad stuff around the world. You know, that's why people do things badly, right? And you know, the only one that is, you know, thinking about the positive is actually me, Spirit House. You know, that's why I'm trying to identify what's happening in my life right now. You know, and that's why we have to communicate. You know, instead of having conflict, get the conflict away. You know, get the conflict away from other people. You know, but you have to realize what's happening. You have to realize what's happening around the world. You know, it's obviously that we are in this together, right? Everyone is around the world. You know, but everything is not perfect in life. Nothing's imperfect. You think that, oh, positivity will work. Yes, it will. But half of it could be gone, which means that half of it would be a negative state. And you have to go through it in life. You have to, right? And there's the only way that you can conceal it, right? You have to reveal, and you have to communicate together, right? Even if you have a relationship between your family, you know, if you had a relationship and it was gone badly, then yeah, that's a negative state. But if everything goes well, then everything will be in a positive way, right? You have to identify that we are all in this together. No ifs, no buts, nothing. You know. But we have to think about the positive, not the negative. If you think about the negative, then you're going to stay in the negative place. You know, you have to identify where you are going to be stepping in the right direction. If you step the wrong direction, you're going far away from people, right? You're splitting your motivation to move forward. You're moving backward in life, and that's not good. So, further ado about that motivation that I gave you, we are going to be doing, well, my kind of church, which means I'm like going to be your spiritual pastor, Alex. Okay, spirited Alex pastor, and so I'm going to reveal some cards that I'm going to lay out, and then I'll read you this, and I also going to read you this as well, the Bible, and we are going to contribute it as my as on Sunday that I forgot to do. So this is going to be the first day of December today, and I will put the video on YouTube as well. But before I do, I want you to consider the outcome, what's happening in this reading that I'm going to read. and it's not a long one, but it will give you some positive. Okay, what's happening? Okay, and this is going to help you in life. Okay, so further ado, while I move this a bit down, as you can see. First, I'm using these cards, and then I will show you about what's going to happen. So here we go. So we have the Queen of Wands. This would be reversed, not upright. Okay, so basically it's like that. But between it's upright to you, it's reversed to me. Then you have the Three of Swords. That is upright to me, but it's reversed to you. And we have the Five of Wands. That is upright to me and reversed to you. And we have the Page of Swords. That is upright to you, but reversed to me. Now, these cards reveal what's happening. If you are an air sign, excuse me, got the hiccups. If you have an air sign and the other person has the fire sign, this will reveal what's happening. This reveal what's going to happen. The Three of Swords represents that you are grieving your sorrow, some passed away, grief, pain, whatever it is for you. This is where you were sticking together as the five together, and then now you have conflict, which means you have conflict. Okay, and so these two you have to figure it out. Okay, so that's actually revealed by that picture. So while I put this over here, because these cards are done. So basically what I mean is by that is where I'm going to read you this now. So basically the title is What is Happening in December. Okay, and December is the first day of, well, today is the first day of December. Anyway, it says, the first card that I did say to you was shout your message. So you have to shout your message. Shout to God, Jesus Christ, and tell him that you are suffering, right? And that indicates to a lot of people, right? A lot of people. So basically, in my standards, that Queen, right here, is that what it says, shout your message. Okay. Then you have what is the month of December? Would be, what is the month December referred to? But before that, it says you are surrounded by conflict, which means in my standards, this is what it says. You are surrounded by conflict, which means conflict is a negative word to say, which means that if you have a negative, and that's conflict, which means that you were fighting with somebody, you were fighting into a relationship, and it wasn't going your direction, right? And that's not the basic what it is, okay? That's what it is. Further ado is you feel loss, heartbreak, grief, and sorrow. That's what a lot of people are facing in the pandemic. That's a lot of people are facing. because when you are feeling the negative stage is where you feel loss, heartbreak, and grief and sorrow. So basically, that's what it is, okay? And it's a pain in the butt to have all those things, and that's not good. And last but not least is the Page of Swords that is reversed. And it says, how many people suffer through the pandemic? And the 4 is bring your energy, attention inward. And that's what this card means, is basically just bring your energy and attention inward. And I just put pray to God, which means pray to God. Pray to Jesus Christ, because He will help you through life. He will, right? And when you're Christian, you believe in Him, right? And you have to understand that, okay? Now, so that's what it is, okay? That's what it is. Now, the next card I'm going to reveal to you is this, and this card will tell you something what's going to happen. Okay, it's gonna reveal what's going to happen. Okay, what does the message from Jesus to tell you? Okay, and this card represents that the hummingbird represents cheerful, like cheer up, right? Cheer up. I meant not cheerful. But that's what that card means. Okay, and that means that a hummingbird in the word cheer up, it will tell you that it does say, if you're in a bad mood, talk with a family member or a friend about what's bugging you. Which means, if you're in a negative spot and you can't get out the positive way, talk with a family member. Talk to your dad, talk to your brother, talk to your mom, talk to your grandparents. Whoever it is going to help you to think about a positive solution. You have to do that, right? And when you're in a negative, when you're in a negative state and you can't get out, then you're in a bad position. You're in a bad position. No matter how you are identifying it, but you are in a bad position. Don't go down that road, which means if you're going towards the south side, you're going to the south. But if you're going to the north, that's a negative place, because you don't know where you're going. You don't know which way you're going to go, right? If you look at my twin flame, my twin flame between Leo and Aries, or Leo and Gemini, sorry. You have to look at that in order to identify this video I'm making. So you can understand what's happening through you, through your life, right? Now that's what this card is, okay? Now, last card is that reveals is that in Mark 11:22, chapter 11, page 22, in the Bible, the Holy Bible, is I'm going to reveal some words what Jesus is saying. But, in other words, in this card reveals, nice picture, right? This is what it means. It says, have faith in God. Just want to see if you can see it. Have faith in God. Okay, and that means that chapter 11, page 22, chapter name is Jesus Clears the Temple. And I'll read you that. Okay, and that could be at almost the end of the video. Okay, now for the cards that I was telling you earlier is the 5 of Wands that I showed you before was you are a Leo. If you're born in July 22, this is for you. Okay, the numerology number is 8 for you. And the 3 of Swords that represents Aquarius, and if you're born January 20th, your numerology number is 7. So 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 numerology is Lucifer. And Lucifer and he actually made you have heartbreak of a friendship. If you had a friendship or a fight or what's happening in that relationship. Leo is fire, okay? And Aquarius is air. The air whooshed and then backfired and went into the blazement. Don't let the December month just begun, and the devil made you have a tormenting life, which means that's not good. That's not good. Because when you identify that as you have air and you have fire, what I call is blazement, which means that the air, when you are in Aquarius and Leo is fire, if you add that together, the air is whooshing that fire to come back at you, right? And it's kind of like playing dodgeball with a wall, and you're having the ball in your hand, and you're having the ball, and you throw it towards the wall, and it comes back at you, like almost like hit you in the eye. That's what the air and fire is doing. The air is backfiring the fire, and the fire is going all around the whole entire place. That's what this relationship is. That's what it is. And so, just give me a minute. Just drinking some peppermint tea. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that that you just have to think about the positive. Don't let the devil come after you. Don't do that, because the devil can bite you in the ass. I know I'm not allowed to say that word. Sorry to all my YouTube fans, but still, that's what the way it is. And you have to compromise of feeling positive nor the negative. Don't let the negative go and get back at you. Don't. Because you have to think of what's happening. You have to understand that. You have to. Right? And you have to embrace to look at things in a different angle. You have to look at things in a different scale of 1 to 10. If you're feeling happy, you're about 9, close to 10. If you're feeling negative, you are basically between 3 or 2 or 1. That's how it is, right? And if you're feeling happy, a little bit more happy, between 4 and 6. Okay, those are my estimate numbers. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying. But before I let this video go, there's only one thing I'm going to tell you, is that I'm going to read you a chapter in the Bible, okay? And I'm going to read you this as the chapter name of Jesus Clears the Temple. And that's what I'm going to do, okay? So, further ado, let me read. And I have to see where my okay. So this is my bookmark. Okay, so this is what it is. And bring it down a bit so you could hear me read. Okay, so what did I say? Oh yeah, Jesus clears the temple. This is where it is. So, so basically, this is what I'm only going to read a couple of few scriptures. Now, hold on. So basically, the card that says, "Have faith in God." It says, "Then Jesus said to the disciples, 'Have faith in God. I tell you the truth. You say to this mountain, may you be lifted and thrown into the sea. It will happen. But you must really believe it will happen, and have no doubt in your heart. I tell you, you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you have received it, it will be yours. But when you are praying, first forgive anyone you are holding a grudge against, so that your Father in heaven will forgive your sins too." And so what that means is that in the Bible is that we have to forgive what we did. We have to forgive that we did about the negative, which means the conflict, right? Having a bad relationship with somebody, that's what it kind of is. But furthermore is like you have to identify what's happening, right? And you have to understand that, right? You have to believe it in your own heart. You have to believe that, right? And you have to think about the positive in life. Don't think about the negative and say, "Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't. Oh, I can't." No, you have to work from the bottom, from the bottom, and work your way up to the top, right? You have to do that. You have to, because life, after all, in this pandemic, it's really a strain to a lot of people. Which means that if you're in a negative state and you can't get out, the only thing that can help you would be everyone around you, or basically the only one who can help you would be spirits out, me. As in, if you do comments or whatever you're going to do, send me a message on the comments, and I will get back to you, right? And that's why it's a good thing to be a helper. Okay, thanks.